My name is Vahan Davoudian. I'm sorry I have to be loud because my exhaust fan is so loud. And this is my science lab. 16 years ago, I was researching for charged particles and particle accelerators. I remember in 1980s, I used to work with Univac Corporation. The new TVs had not been invented yet. Monitors and TVs use huge cathode ray tubes, which in fact both of them are small and simple particle accelerators. Beam of electrons are emitted from CRT toward the screen, are deflected by Lorentz forces by vertical and horizontal coils. I worked with DC motors all my life. The concept has not been changed. Michael Faraday invented the first DC electric motor in 1822, 197 years ago. We are still using the same concept, the interaction of moving charged particles in magnetic field. Nowadays, same concept and the principle is used. Some electric motors can run with 40,000 RPM. Well, of course, the efficiency has been improved substantially. In ordinary DC motors, we are still using commutators to reverse the flow of current with two brushes. I wrote many theories in physics. One of them is the theory of the separation of charges. I was experimenting with a single thin wire, probably 2 grams, in a magnetic field. The deflection or repulsion was so powerful, the half loop rotates so many turns. I was inspired by Lorentz forces. I said, why don't I use this concept for electric motors without changing or reversing the flow of current with commutators? I will demonstrate everything so you can visualize and conceptualize how it works. Lorentz forces is used in every aspect in our life, like speakers, analog multimeters, old TVs and monitors, electric motors, particle accelerators, maglevs, train, and in automobile, like all gauges, like a odometer, tachometer, and the most important part is the Hadron Collider in Switzerland. They can propel subatomic particles close to the speed of light by electromagnets, which are cooled with liquid nitrogen. Lorentz force can use permanent magnet or electromagnets. I will demonstrate in a few minutes how my new electric motor works. I started with a very simple loop and gradually I modified and increased the efficiency. And this was breakthrough in science. In a very simple DC motor with one loop, half of the loop rotates 180 degrees, then the current is reversed. The other half rotates 180 degrees. I thought, what if I eliminate one commutator? I used PVC and used no ferromagnetic. Unlike the DC motor, I made coils round and rectangle. During my experiment, I found that I can energize 2 coils simultaneously without reversing the flow of current. So I wound one coil clockwise with respect to the flow of electrons and continued the second coil counterclockwise. It worked. One coil was north and the second coil was south. In fact, I used 4 coils and wrapped them around the PVC. They were 3.5 centimeters to 4.5 centimeters in diameter. I remember the first motor had 2,800 RPM. This was around 16 years ago. And then I improved it to, these days, 7,000 RPM. I bought a DC Gauss meter which measures the magnetic field up to 10,000 Gauss with a great precision. Also, I bought a laser beam tachometer, non-contact, so I can measure the RPM of rotor without touching them.